In my previous video, I've spoken about you not clinging onto friends, relatives, or your comfort zone. I shortened the video because while I was recording it, my phone crashed. But the video was saved, so I just cut out the last seconds when the crash happened and I uploaded it. There's no need to finish that video because the message is clear already. In this video, I want to talk about something else. Too often, people get caught up in the revelations they receive. What I mean with revelation is exposure. When things are exposed, people tend to get caught up by the exposure. Maybe it's that they find out that many of the Hollywood celebrities are really transgenders. That's what's going on now, transvestigation. It's become a fad, it's become a hype. Many are so into transvestigation. Some go very deep into it, they become obsessed with it. In the between 2005 and 2010, it was the hype of 9/11. 9/11 was so hot then. Afterwards, it became something else. Now look, what the pagan rulers of the world do is that they themselves will expose parts of their program. Why would they do that? Because they know that in general, people get caught up by the exposures. And there's nothing wrong with exposing the unfruitful works of darkness. But the pagan rulers of the world know that if they expose themselves covertly, and they do it in such a way that people get hypnotized by the exposure, then people are distracted. So, the subject I'm about to speak on now, very few people addressed it. Some may even think, Rashid, you're going too far with this. Now hear me out. Many companies you encounter out there, or many corporations, they are hoax corporations. You also have fake economies operating out there. And now you may think, Rashid, what are you talking about? Fake economies. Look, if you open a cafeteria, you need to pay the rent for the building, because you hired the building. You need to pay for the chairs and for the furniture. You need to pay for the machinery that you use in the cafeteria. Then you need to hire people. You need to pay their wages. And now you become dependent on the customers that come for the income, because without the customers you have no income and you go bankrupt. So you operating in the cafeteria with your employees, that's a real economy, because there is a need for food or for relaxation, and the customers come, they give the compensation to you, and the income that you get from their compensations, their payments, that's what you use to pay off the rent, the wage, all of that, and the remainder of it you live from it. That is a real economy. Okay? It's an economy on a very tiny scale in a neighborhood, but it's an economy. So that's real. But let me give another scenario now. Someone owns a cafeteria. The machinery is purchased, it's designed in a luxurious way. And you even have people that stand there in the cafeteria. Once in a while, someone comes by, buys a coffee or a cappuccino or tea or whatever, or some snacks, and they leave. So from on the surface, it's just a business. And because people are distracted by their daily lives, they don't notice anything else. But then you visit the cafeteria one day, and when you're leaving, an elderly man asks you, "Sir, did you just leave that cafeteria right over there?" And you tell them, "Yes, sir, what's up?" Then the elderly man hints to you, "Think twice before going back to that cafeteria." And then you think, what's wrong with this elderly man? Is he on drugs? Is he a drug addict? You get a bit annoyed, then the elderly man adds to it, "Sir, or young man, please reconsider going back to that cafeteria? Or have you noticed that you are one of the few that attend that place? That the elder man leaves, but the next day you think about it and you realize, hold on a minute. You and a few other people are the only ones going to the cafeteria, and you don't even spend that much money over there. And then we begin to think, hold on a minute. If only very few people go to that cafeteria, that means they don't have enough income. That means they won't be able to pay the rent. They won't be able to purchase new foods to sell. They won't be able to pay the wages of their employees. So for the next 2 weeks, you pay close attention to the cafeteria. And you notice that there was a whole week that nobody went to the cafeteria. Nobody. And then we get to think, hold on a minute. How can this cafeteria remain in business when they have no customers for a whole week? It's then that you begin to capture this is a cover-up. Now what happened? There were some pagans that performed money rituals at home. They were not part of the shadow government, and they just performed money rituals at home. They had their wardrobe with their candles in it, with their cards in it, and they did their ceremonies each morning. And daily, there are electronic transactions happening all over the world. Money is transferred electronically. And this witchcraft caused disturbance in the transactions, electronic transactions. And this disturbance caused money to be transferred onto their account without anyone sending money to them directly. Evil spirits can cause dysfunction in electronic waves of the internet. They can do that. So they performed witchcraft, and every week a few €100 was dumped on their bank account. Now on their banknotes, you can read that money has been transferred onto them. So that really happened, but it happened because of a malfunction in electronic traffic. So each month, that's around €3,000 as a consequence of their money rituals. So what they had on their bank accounts was ritual money. They didn't work for it. They didn't do any business ending for it. It was really a kind of theft in disguise. But they did it. But now they had to give an account for it. Because the people around, when they see them spending money, they come to us, hold on a minute. They don't have a job. They don't go to school. How can they have money? We don't sell them drugs either. What's going on? So to ward off that attention, they opened a cafeteria, and they pretended to be in business. Much of the food there was fake anyway. It wasn't the real food that people saw in, let me say, behind the glass. So they did this so that anytime they would spend money or they would go on holidays, people would think, they have their own business. This is how they get the money. But that business, physically, there was a cafeteria over there, but it was fake. They got customers once in a while, but that was the purpose, only get customers once in a while. Because that business was fake. So the economy over there was fake. They lived off of money rituals, but they needed some physical structure to cover it up. That's why the cafeteria was there. But they had to reveal to the public that it was fake. And how they do it? By using pagan symbols on the window of their business. And those that are in the know of paganism realize, this is a cover-up. Those in the know informed their relatives, and that's why most people didn't even went to that cafeteria, because it was a hoax. Those who were not aware went over there. Now look, that parable of that cafeteria that was used as a cover for ritual money, such things happen. So that cafeteria was a hoax enterprise, a hoax company or hoax corporation, if you want to call it. Not corporation, corporation is much bigger, but you get what I'm saying here. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's say you have a group of people that want constant ritual money without having to do that many rituals at home. So they sell their soul. They go into a demonic contract with the shadow government. So now they have ritual money in the hundreds of thousands of euros each month. But part of the contract is that they need to keep other people in the negative. There are those that perform money rituals at home and they get a few hundred euros or sometimes a few thousand euros once in a while because of it. But those that want ritual money for a long period of time in big amounts, they sell their soul. And let's say now you have a guy that does this, and now the shadow government tells him you need to open a new business, and you need to hire at least 20 people in that business. So 20 people working for him, and those people go to their jobs every day, and at the end of the month they're paid. They're paid from ritual money, but nevertheless they get an amount on their bank account they can use to do groceries, pay the rent and all of that, but the income doesn't come from the business. They do administrative work, they arrange orders and all of that, thinking it's real. But the shadow government has over 30 fake businesses that do business with this new fake business. So those people working at that logistics office, they think they are doing a real job by processing orders. But those orders come from companies that are fake. So the customers are fake, but the employees are not aware of it. The employees are just used as a cover-up, and they're paid for it at each end of the month. And they can put it on the resume they worked over there. But that enterprise is a hoax. That economy is fake. Once in a while, one of the high bosses who are actors come by to check out to make it appear real. But it's a fake economy. Now, such things often happen. There are many businesses out there that are hoaxes. There are many fake economies out there. And most of the time, the people are not aware it's a fake economy. There are even pagans that are tricked into fake economies. Now, if you have a job somewhere, your job is a practical thing, is a tool for you, so you can pay your rent, do your stuff. Don't feel guilty about it, you're not guilty. Just understand, if you are working for an enterprise that's a hoax, you can never grow to the higher positions. You may become a manager locally, but that's the highest you can become. You can never become a CEO. You can never become an executive with a lot of responsibility. You can't, because that enterprise or the corporation, however you want to call it, is a hoax. You're working there to cover up that it's a hoax, and you get a compensation for it. Many of the customers are involved also. So when you want to become higher up, you want a promotion, they will pretend as if they're interested, but eventually they'll turn you down all the time, because the corporation is a hoax. You think it's real. All those in the higher ups are paid actors. The CEO may be a paid actor. He's not a CEO at all. He doesn't even make any decisions. But you think it's a real thing. That's why when you were turned down for a promotion, you felt bad about yourself. Now listen, don't feel bad about yourself. It can be either you're saved from a stressful life, or it can be that it was a hoax. And because you're not fake, you're going to get those fake positions. Look, 2018 is closing now. If you're watching this video later on, it counts for you at that moment. Whether it's 2020, 2024, doesn't matter. But it's almost the end of 2018 now. And a new year is going to start, according to the Roman calendar. I want you to see through fake economies. There are pagans out there who live off of ritual money. And here's you have special banks that create money out of thin air. The people around those banks are pagans who are hired by the shadow government. And if you are a pagan and you want to have a hoax corporation, you go to that bank and they just type in 20,000 euros, for example, and the next day it's on your bank account and you can spend it. They don't even ask you to pay it back because it's fake anyway. But you need to carry pagan symbols. You need to prosper the paranormal in some kind of way. You have folks doing that. Fake economies. It exists. And in this world, in order to make it, you have to be fake. So you have many folks that participate in fake economies with fake businesses or ghost corporations, and they get a place in magazines, they're invited to TV shows, to radio shows, and you belong to the crowds, are thinking, man, this guy made it. This guy or this woman, man, she's very smart. No, it is a hoax. You're being tricked. You're being lied to. And those fake economies, you can see through them if you pay attention. Remember in the parable I gave at the beginning of this video, you had this guy who went to this cafeteria, but he later noticed that the cafeteria doesn't get many customers. So for 1 week, they had no customers at all. Yet, things remained operative. And then the guy didn't think, wait a minute, something's wrong here. That's one way you can recognize a fake economy. Another way you can recognize a fake economy, and this one's a bit tricky, so I want you to be careful with this, but you can recognize a fake economy when everyone that's working at the corporation becomes depressed, sick, or they die before their time. Because those big hoax companies, in order for them to get the big ritual money, they need to sell them their souls. And part of selling your soul is you need to bring others in negativity. So, you have those big fake corporations where you may have hundreds of people working, hundreds of people are employed there, and all the people are employed there, their quality of life diminishes. They are laden with stress at the job. And it's designed this way, because by keeping them in a stressful condition, the demons can feed off of them. The bosses of those fake corporations, they sold their souls, so now they need to feed the demons. And they feed the demons by making life hard on their employees. It's a fake economy. And the only reason they can remain with ritual money is because they are bringing others in the negative. That's why you have some corporations, some businesses. You apply for a job over there and it just won't hire you. Even if you're overqualified for the job, they won't hire you. Why not? Because you have some of those corporations who are hoax corporations. And when you have a positive vibration coming from you, they don't want you over there. Why? Because the workplace ought to be negative, so that the demons can drain the people. So if they hire someone with a positive emission, they would endanger the whole operation. So when you get a letter of application or your motivation or your resume, they go with it to a fortune teller. And the demons behind the fortune teller will inform them whether they should hire that individual or not. If you are a believer and you walk by faith, there are going to be quite some corporations that don't want you. Because those corporations are fake. It's through black magic that remain in operation. So for them to hire someone that walks in the light, it's very dangerous for them. They won't do it. That's why believers ought to be prosperous. Believers ought to operate in prosperity. Believers are in the world, but they're not of the world. The earth is our destination, so we should walk on the earth and inhabit the earth. But we're not part of the world. We're in the world, so we have to get along with some external things in the world, like traffic signs, paying taxes and all of that, but we're not of the world. We should be in the world, but not dependent of the world. But at the moment, too many believers are dependent on the fake economies of the world. Christ wants you free from that, so you will operate in the real. Material prosperity is promised, both in the Old and New Testament. And it's very important. Without material abundance, without material prosperity, you are dependent on the haves, as you call it in the world. In the world, you have the haves and haves not. Without material prosperity, you're dependent on those that have in the world. And those that have in the world are often fake. Often they're sold out to Satan, or they are pagans that have fake economies. Is it God's will that you're dependent on such people? No. Unfortunately, our Christian believers are dependent on them. That needs to change. Believers worldwide ought to be financially autonomous, so that the world can't oppress us with their expectations. Because as long as you're dependent on their paycheck and their compensation, they can enforce their will on you. Because you need their compensation. The moment you don't need their compensation anymore, their power over you disappears. Also their ability to oppress you disappears also. You are designed to operate in a material realm. So material prosperity is important. So agree with Christ. So you will walk in true prosperity. So you won't have to participate in the fake economies of this world. There is a real world economy out there. Okay? There are real economies. There are also many fake economies. And often people can't distinguish the real from the fake. Why? Because their minds have been conditioned by the media to not see these things. Well, I've just exposed it to you. Some of you remained unemployed for a while and you thought that you were accursed. No. The Holy Spirit prevented you from being sucked up in a fake economy. Because being sucked up in a fake economy will cost you your long-term well-being. It will cost you your life. In the world, many are are enslaved, and they're wasting away for pagan businessmen that keep their HOAX enterprises alive at the expense of the human energy of their employees. That's not God's will for you. For 2019, be prosperous. Agree with Christ. Be at peace.